Good evening and welcome to this evening's regular City Council meeting for the City of International Falls. The meeting is called to order Monday, June 16th, 2025 at 5:30 p.m. Please rise as we recite the pledge. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All members of the council are present this evening. We can move on to the agenda with the addition from the City of Fort Francis. Are there any other additions to be considered for this evening's agenda? Seeing none, I would ask for a motion to approve the agenda as presented with the addition under number 8, new business.
I'll move.
Motion by Councillor Kaler.
A second.
Second by Councillor Buller. Discussion? Question?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
I'll vote yes. Agenda is approved, 5-0. Thank you. Next on this evening's agenda, approval of minutes. First, minutes of the Monday, June 2nd, 2025 special City Council meeting. Second, minutes of the Monday, June 2nd, 2025 regular City Council meeting. Third, minutes of the Monday, June 9th, 2025 Committee of the Whole meeting.
Motion to approve the minutes.
Thank you, Councillor Wagner with the motion.
Second.
Second by Councillor Holden. Discussion? Question?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
I'll vote yes. Minutes are approved, 5-0. Thank you. Next, on to payments of claims and transfers. First, we have transfers. City of International Falls transfers of $95,833.33. Next, we have accounts payable and claims. City of International Falls claims $794,177.75. International Falls Public Library Board claims $6,884.11. This is for a total accounts payable and claims of $801,061.86. At this time, I would entertain a motion to approve payment and transfers.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Motions by Councillor Holden and Wagner. Is there discussion on these payments, claims, and transfers before we vote? Seeing no discussions or questions on the payments and transfers, question?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
I will vote yes. The bills are paid, 5-0. Thank you. Next on this evening's agenda is the opportunity for any of you to come forward during public comment. We would need name and address for the record and limited to 5 minutes or less. Seeing no public comment, and there will be the opportunity at the end of the meeting for comment as well, we will move on this evening to the consent agenda. There is one item on the consent agenda: to approve and allow necessary expenses for Human Resources Safety Director Sherry Stensland to attend MPELRA Summer Conference, August 5th through 8th, 2025 in Duluth, Minnesota.
I'll move.
Second.
Motions by Counselor Kaler and Wagner, and a question.
Aye.
Aye.
No discussion?
Aye. Aye.
All vote yes, consent agenda is approved. Thank you. Next, we will move on to new business to approve, new business number 1, to approve election judges and absentee ballot board for the August 12th, 2025 special city election. Administrator Bergstrom, is this something you want to explain? This is for the, what I would call a referendum for the Public Works petition.
Sure, I can do that, Mayor.
Thank you.
Yep, no problem. For the, since there's no other elections in Coochin County in August, on August 12th, the city is having and holding their own special election for the referendum purposes that the citizens petitioned to have done. Therefore, we have to put all of our voting places in place as a regular election. So we will have East, Center, and West Ward, along with absentee voting here at City Hall. And so that is why we would need to officially approve the election judges. These are judges that have been judges in the past. They are currently trained, and their training is still in effect. And the absentee ballot board also has to be approved. That is something that we don't have to normally do, as the county does the absentees on a regular elections, but we do have to handle them here in-house. So we do have to have a special board to handle those according to state statute.
Okay. Thank you. Any questions from council? Is there a motion to approve the election judges and the handling of absentee ballots?
I'll make that motion.
Counselor Buller beat you, Counselor
Okay, I'll
Holden.
second that motion.
So we have a motion and a second. Is there discussion on the motion or the question?
I'd just like to thank all the people, and a lot of these are the same ones that do it year after year, election after election, to volunteer their time to do that. It can be a long day when they're doing that.
I would echo that. Question?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
I'll vote yes. The election judges and the handling of absentee ballots is approved unanimously. Thank you. Next, new business, item 2. To adopt a resolution establishing procedures relating to compliance with reimbursement bond regulations under the Internal Revenue Code. I believe George Eilertson of Northland Securities is here this evening. George, can you hear us?
I hear you just fine. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you. Well, good evening, Mayor and Council. I'll quickly address or provide an overview of this item and then answer any questions you may have. So, reimbursement resolutions are very common when municipalities are considering the issuance of debt. The resolution states that it gives you the opportunity to use your cash reserves in the short term to meet any obligations that you would have, any invoices that would come in relative to a project, and then reimburse yourself at a later date with the proceeds of a tax-exempt bond. Just to hit a couple highlights that are stated in the resolution, this is, there's 2 sections in this resolution. One asks for a description of the project to be financed, and this is the 9th Street project, so storm and sanitary improvement, street lighting, as well as the sewer vector truck. So just those purposes are identified for this project. And then it also states a not to exceed dollar amount for the expected bond issue that would be issued. And we put that in at not to exceed $3 million. Mayor and Council, just as a refresher on this bond issue, certainly not issuing it tonight. We have it scheduled for August 4th for consideration and issuance at your August 4th city council meeting. I'll be working with your staff in mid-July on the assignment of the bond rating. So that's certainly is important in your bond issuance process because it brings the city's credit to the table. But in relation to this bond issue, it's important because you've already made a couple of, or paid a couple of invoices relative to the sewer vector, but the resolution allows you to look back up to 60 days to recover any project expenses that may have already occurred and that will occur going forward. So again, very commonplace for municipalities to consider this type of resolution. Doesn't obligate you to issue bonds, this particular resolution. Again, just gives you the flexibility to reimburse yourself at a later date. Mayor, council, I can address any questions you may have.
With the scheduled bond issuance date of August 4th, how does that work with the August 12th referendum? Or am I mixing those up?
This isn't related to that. This is related to 9th Street and to the purchase of the Vector.
Okay. The reason I asked that was because I thought initially they were all going to be packaged.
They were until such time that part of it was the referendum, so they were split.
Understood.
Yep.
Thank you. Questions for Mr. Eilertson from the council? Thank you.
Thank you for the questions.
We didn't have very many.
Well, Betty addressed it very well. Thank you.
Yeah.
Any discussion? Is there a motion?
I'll move.
Motion by Councilors Kaler and Holden. Once again, discussion. Question?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
I'll vote yes. This resolution is approved unanimously. Thank you. New business, third item, to adopt a resolution authorizing execution of MnDOT State Airport Fund Equipment Grant Agreement.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Councilor Buller,
Second.
second by Councilor Holden. Discussion. Question.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
I'll abstain. Item 3, new business, is passed 4-0 with an abstention. We'll move on to new business number 4, to adopt a resolution fiscal year 2026 Air Service Marketing Grant Agreement for state project, and I'm not going to read the lengthy numbers.
I'll move to accept.
A motion to accept by Councilor Buller.
I'll second.
There's support for that motion by Councilor Kaler. Is there discussion on this topic? Seeing no discussion, question.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
I'll abstain. This passes 4-0 with an abstention. Thank you. Moving on, new business, 5th item from Budget and Finance Committee. Emma, is this something you'd like to come forward?
Not unless you have additional questions.
I don't think we do, but if we do, we'll keep that in mind. To consider meeting weekly beginning August 5th for the budgeting process for 2026 as we discussed in committee.
And that's for the 4 weeks,
For the 4,
month of August.
yes, the 5th, the 12th, the 19th, the 26th, all of August, from 1 to 4 p.m.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Councilor Wagner, with the motion.
Second.
Second by Counselor Buller. For discussion, I assume should we need more meetings, we would call them.
Yeah.
Question?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
I'll vote yes. Our meetings are set on a unanimous vote. Thank you. Moving on, under new business, item 6 from Committee of the Whole recommendations to approve a date and time for an open house to take public comment on a proposed ordinance to prohibit the feeding of deer. Before we talk about the date, I would just like to add that we've spent considerable time taking input from the community already. It's a passionate topic among many. I think that there's an appetite of the council to do something. I think that will happen. There is not likely going to be a one-size-fits-all solution in whatever action that we take. So at Committee of the Whole, we discussed at good length before moving forward with any type of official rule that we take more public comment before it moves ahead. So with that, back to potential dates.
And Mayor, if I may, just looking at the calendar, open discussion, is it something on July 14th, you have Committee of the Whole, that's a Monday, or July 28th is the open fourth Monday of the month, is, putting out there, those are a couple of dates that are more open and don't have other meetings, so kind of looking to you as a group for a definitive date, and then we can move forward with some advertising and others that we want to put together.
A Monday would seem appropriate. I would just want to make sure that it's afterwards at a time in the evening when folks
Correct.
would be able to attend, that are interested at least.
I'll move for the 28th, if that,
Counselor Kaler moves to schedule an open house on the proposed deer feeding ordinance on July 28th, presumably at 6 or 6:30 PM.
it's a good 5:30, 6, yeah, whatever. Yep.
We'll leave that up for interpretation.
Okay?
How about 6 o'clock? How about 6 o'clock? Yeah, we can interpret that for.
Any questions on Counselor Kaler's motion?
Oh, I'll second it.
Thank you, Counselor Holden. Is there any more discussion on scheduling the open house?
Would you like me to see if DNR officials, Conservation Officer Kittleson, or any of his partners or associates would be available at that time?
Yes.
Yes.
And they have participated along the way
Yes.
as well,
Yes,
which
they have
is
been.
just as we get this information out there to the community.
Okay.
More discussion on this topic?
Mayor, if I may?
Please.
Go ahead, Betty.
And within the motion, you're allowing for fees for advertising, cost of advertising?
If Counselor
Yes,
Kaler is,
I'm amenable to that.
okay.
Okay.
Is there a normal cost to that?
There is, if we put it in the Rainy Lake Gazette. I mean, we'll also have it on our social media
Yeah.
pages and our website and things, but
Yeah.
if you want it in the Gazette, that's an additional charge.
Yes.
Put it in there as well. Okay.
Discussion continues.
Yeah, would the city attorney be available for that, too?
I am.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you for pointing that out, Counselor.
I just assumed to show up, so.
Well, you might have a full calendar, we don't know. Yeah,
As of now, no. Might change. But you've got on the calendar first, so.
good.
Thank you. Discussion continues.
I just think it's good to everybody be aware that we've had discussion on this, and we've tried to look through different avenues of of ways that we can reduce the population. That's the reason for it, is to reduce the deer population in town. Not to be against anybody feeding deer, but in order to start out, we thought that that would probably be the easiest way to start out with, is stop the deer feeding and go from there, because other towns have tried it, and it's our least expensive start. So I think that's what everybody needs to know, that we have research stuff, but it's where we wanted to start. It's not against the people feeding deer, it's to get the deer out of town. We got to quit somehow to move them out, so.
Thank you, Counselor Buller. And I would just add, while we're having our meeting, that through that process,
Recording stopped.
the state has pointed out that this all starts with an ordinance before we can reach out for assistance and anybody's willing to help us. So that's, a lot of times, is an ordinance necessary? Well, if we're going to go down this path, yes, it is, with this issue. So, Counselor Holden? I know you like deer, so I want to make sure you have your opportunity.
I've thought long and hard about it. I know there's people that enjoy popping their popcorn and watching deer, but it's gotten to the point that there's too many deer in International Falls, no question. And there's a lot of different areas that are heavily populated, and it's only a matter of time, and there's going to be a problem a little bit even higher up than what it's been. So, that said, I think we need to move on and figure out a way to get that number down. Whatever the city council agrees on, I'm all for it. I mean, there's just too many, so.
Thank you.
Yep.
Before we vote, is there anything we need to delay for with IT?
We're just, I don't even know about online anymore.
Okay.
We're still recording.
We're still recording.
Okay, I believe we can continue. Question?
Aye?
Aye.
Aye.
I'll vote yes. We're going to set the date for July 28th at 6 PM. Thank you. New business, item 7, consider a request for a prorated refund of 2025 license fees for On the Rocks LLC. This is a business in our downtown district that was recently affected by a deeply unfortunate fire. Betty, I would ask that you provide some insight to this,
Sure.
please.
I sure can. Mayor, Council, thank you. I did speak with the owner, Mr. Terry Wood, last Thursday, and he indicated that another adjuster was coming up on Friday, and that, they believed it to be severe enough that he will not be able to open before the end of the year. And he is unsure of what the plans are, but would like to know if we would, refund on a prorated basis for 7 months of the fees that he had paid. I think his fees were $1,500 for the year, so it would be a portion of that.
Would that be something consistent with how we've treated other situations?
It is. In fact, when different businesses have sold out in the middle of the year, we have refunded the previous owner, on a prorated basis back the other way as well.
Okay.
Correct.
Thank you. Discussion on the topic for the council?
Move to approve it.
We have a motion by Councilor Buller to approve the prorated refund.
Second.
Second by Councilor Holden. Discussion? Question?
Aye?
Aye.
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 I'll vote yes. This is approved. Item 7 unanimously. Thank you. Next item on this evening's agenda, new business, number 8, was an addition. I would like to read an email that I received from Mayor Andrew Halakis, City of Fort Francis. Hi, Mayor Dill. We would like to invite you, your council, and your administration to Fort Francis on July 2nd for a ceremonial signing of the Proclamation of Friendship between our two communities. We will also raise a Minnesota flag to complement our Stars and Stripes and City of International Falls flag, which we currently fly. We will host a lunch barbecue for our two councils and staff, and perhaps members of the public as well. Would a signing and flag raising at 11 a.m. to be followed by a barbecue work for you? Andrew. I thought it was a very nice
Yes.
gesture.
Yeah, especially at this time that maybe we can make up some ground from what happens in Alberta. Right now at the, Jesus.
So I don't know that we necessarily need to approve this, but I would like to get back to him at some point that we've at least acknowledged this generous invitation, and I certainly,
And I plan on going depending on how late Lois keeps me up out at the park the night before.
Yes.
wonderful. With
Mayor?
that, go ahead.
If I may, thank you, Mayor. What I can do is I can post it as a possible quorum with no official action being taken, and then depends on who attends, we wouldn't have any trouble with open meeting laws.
Thank you. Chelsea, any concerns or comments?
No, I think this is super cool.
Okay,
That's all I have.
thank you. Betty will post this. I will, would ask that Betty, if you would circulate this amongst city staff as well,
Okay?
as they're invited. And I will get back to the mayor and we'll have a barbecue.
Yeah, sounds good.
Is there any other business to come before the council this evening that was not included on the original agenda that was approved? I don't see any. We will move on to reports of boards, committees, and department heads. Much of this information is in our packets. I have a few items that I would like to point out, and we can fill in some gaps as well, if I can find it in my notes. First, there was a terrible atrocity over the weekend in Twin Cities with one legislator, Speaker Emerita Hortman, who was fatally shot with her husband, and Senator Hoffman and his wife. So I would just ask that we take a moment of silence for them. Thank you. The legislature has adjourned. There was a bonding bill with very few local projects. PFA did receive some funding in that, ironically. Probably the biggest win for small communities is that, I believe in the tax bill, there was $16 million for direct grants to local ambulance services. And also, I think there was another $16 million for uncompensated care grants. We will learn more about that as that program unrolls. So any help with our ambulance fund is welcomed. In the new city charter, there is a requirement for performance reviews, which I have asked our city attorney, Chelsea, to assist with. and we'll be working with Administrator Bergstrom as well, and the council, to communicate through her with the council to get them scheduled. And no LGA or PILT cuts.
No.
So-
That's good, yes.
We thought that that was going to happen, and it didn't. Any other reports from council?
Well, we got a sewer meeting tomorrow, Cooch Sewer meeting, so we'll know more after that meeting, I guess, unless
Yeah.
Walt's got,
There'll be an ad put in the paper, the next 2 papers, for a board member at large as we're reconfiguring our board. There's going to be 3 from the Falls instead of 4. There'll be 2 from East Cooch, there'll be 1 from Rainier, and 1 at large. That 1 at large will be similar to what Mike is for the council. It's all the districts, will be a contact person for all the districts. And we're looking for somebody for that position that would be willing to fill in on the board and help out with moving things forward there too.
Have you received more applicants?
We're going to approve it tomorrow morning.
Okay.
It's been done, it's been preliminary approved. I mean, we had a personnel meeting on it to get it going and what it would say. So tomorrow will be approved. It'll probably be, I think she's got it arranged. If she can tomorrow, it'll be in the Friday paper.
Wonderful.
So that's the biggest thing going on there right now, I guess, so.
Thank you.
Bill, I don't mean to interrupt, but when they're speaking at you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The microphone is on this side of you. We can't hear you.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
You want me to repeat it?
Yes, please.
Okay. At the sewer board, we have got an ad that's going to be going in the paper for a member at large, which has not been on there before. It's something new since we got the permission from the legislature to reconfigure our board there. So it's going to consist of 3 from Iowa Falls instead of 4. There were 4 before. There'll be, instead of 1 from East Cooch, there'll be 2 from East Cooch District, and there'll be 1 from Rainier yet, and then 1 at large. And then 1 at large is what we're going to be putting in the paper. It'll be somebody that'll be representing all the districts, like Mike represents the 3 wards. It's like a city councilman at large. We've never had that one before, but we thought that'd be good to have 1 at large. So that's what we're going for, that board to be established after we get everybody put together there, so.
And that's for the sewer?
That's for the sewer district, correct? Or the North Cooch Sewer District.
Thank you, Councilor Buller.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. We'll put this over here.
Chelsea there, they'll hear. My dog is this way.
Any other reports? We will move on at this point. There is another opportunity for public comment. Once again, name and, address for the record and limited to 5 minutes.
Hello,
Good evening.
I'm Joe Cantor. I live at 1607 13th Avenue West, International Falls. And I'm here tonight to address a little bit about, a lot of advertisements that we put out we shell out for money and stuff like that. And the city of the whole, the meeting we have here, we have a lot of decisions that we make at these meetings. And I'm just asking, maybe would it be good to be able to televise all this stuff that we put on at every meeting, so that people in the town or anywhere they are can listen to this, and we have time to talk to our representatives before we have our meetings, our main meetings on the 29th, and be able to figure it out that way. Is that possible? Like, we could have it televised so we have more time to discuss this and make decisions with our representatives of the state?
I want to make sure that your question is understood. When you reference representatives of the state, are you talking about televising city council meetings?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I believe they are after the fact on which, excuse my ignorance, which channel? 7.
They're all on
Yeah.
YouTube.
And they're on YouTube. Do we have a live feed? But there is the opportunity, I believe, to tune in virtually. So,
Maybe I said that a little off there, but it would give us, if we had like the city council meeting of the whole, where we make a lot of decisions at the meetings, but they're not televised on Channel 7. So other people can't hear it or see it being televised, but give people a chance to process all this. And then they know it's transparent, and everybody else gets a chance to look at it at home or whatever they need to do, because a lot of it's not really being advertised or nothing, like the deer population and stuff like that. We got a meeting that we're going to do now on the 28th, but who else knows about this yet? Like, it's going to be coming up pretty soon, but more people will be more aware of it than just putting an ad in the paper and stuff. Some people don't read the paper,
to address those in part, with the deer feeding ordinance, there will be ample time to discuss with the council for input on that. That will be advertised, which is what I believe Councilor Kaler offered that motion this evening. In regard to the committee of the whole meetings.
Yes.
Which is the second Monday of every month in between our two regularly scheduled regular city council meetings. The process for, I don't know, televising, but recording it or making it available to the public, I get asked that question a lot, so I would have to ask our attorney if there's any legalities of what we would need to do to put that up on YouTube, or if the council would want to do that. I'm of the opinion right now that if we don't conduct our business in the light of the public, that it's going to lead to more questions down the road, and I'd like to be able to answer them, especially going into fall. That may not be the most convenient at times for some, but the reality is this is a public enterprise that must do business publicly,
Right.
unless for a couple
Well,
reasons.
I agree with you on that. I agree, but it gives us a little more open window of seeing the light at the end of the tunnel before the decisions are made at the regular meetings. Like, if we open this up where we can see this on TV, then everybody gets to see it, and there's more time to be able to make decisions, and proper ones, instead of just kind of leaving some people in the dark. Because like I say, a lot of people don't read the paper. Some people are busy doing other things. A lot of people are working and stuff. But when they get home at night, well, pour themselves a drink, sit down, watch TV, and it gives us a little more transparent time to see what's going on.
Thank you.
Okay?
If it's possible, my personal feelings is I don't care if we put the committee of the whole on TV. I mean, I'm fine with it. If we're low.
I just want to clarify, I don't think we get to decide if it goes on TV, but certainly recorded and put on YouTube.
Well, that's what
That's where I
yeah.
would be at.
That's
with
a
it.
YouTuber, yeah.
Yeah.
That, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
And
That's a Todd question.
that's a, Todd, question, is that something that you would be able to accommodate?
Yes, it can be done just exactly the same way that city council meetings are put on YouTube, and then KCCTV, Darcy Sullivan is the one who decides what to televise. We have no, we have no say over what she does, but, yeah, it would be the same process. It would just take, I would just have to edit it and prepare it as we do for the regular city council meeting. So there's no technical reason why we can't do that.
Okay, and I think that the YouTube would be, our channel would be plenty acceptable to the Darcy thing and TV, that it's not a regular city council meeting, but there are things discussed there, just like every other meeting. If we, Chelsea, do you think it would be appropriate for the council to take a vote on that action, or is that something that we should just ask for?
I guess I would do a motion directing city staff to facilitate the recording and publication of it. I think without a motion, it's a little bit too unclear, so I would do a motion.
Okay, thank you for clarifying that. Is there a motion?
I'll move.
There is a motion by Councilor Kaler to record the committee of the whole meetings and upload to YouTube.
A second.
Second by Councilor Buller. I would add that I believe that the meetings already are recorded.
No,
They aren't?
they're not.
Okay. Any discussion? Question?
Aye.
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 I'll vote yes. The committee of the whole will be recorded and uploaded to YouTube, less any technical difficulties, but I've got to give a shout out to Mr. Ojala. Thank you for your hard work and dedication. Our public comment is still open please.
Calder, 1901 6th Avenue East. Today, for the first time, I was at a committee meeting. I found it very enlightening and useful, and I think what our community really is hoping for is a lot of transparency. And so when I was reading this new business item 5, I think because of the situation in town and with the city finances, I think there'd be a lot of interest in people going to these meetings. So I'm wondering if it would be a burdensome expense to post our committee meetings with, as we do in the Gazette for the council meetings, if we could make an effort to post those committee meetings and invite the public to them, especially something as important as the budget and finance and the committee of the whole meetings, place and date. And I think one of the benefits of doing that is, I think if the public knows they're invited to these committee meetings and have an opportunity to understand what's going on, it may deflate some of the emotional misunderstandings of what goes on with the city government. And I think as striving to be transparent, I think if we do something that simple, I think it would really open up government involvement or citizen involvement in government, local government. Would that be a great expense? Laurel's on.
If I may, Mayor.
Please.
We do publish the minutes. We do publish on a regular basis. The city council meeting is the first and third Mondays. There is a calendar on our city webpage that has all the meetings as well as the committee meetings on there. But yes, obviously there is an expense. I can't quote what that expense is right now, but it is an additional expense. Therefore, if you guys want us to put those also in the Gazette, we would need approval for that expense.
Just one last thing. I know that the minutes are in the paper, but when you put in the paper when the city council meeting is in big block letters, and put the committee meetings in that same ad, I think people's attention is drawn to it rather than listing it in the city minutes where it's small print and some of us, don't always have our magnifying glass with us. So that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Calder.
Mary Wilson, 1711 First Avenue East. I just want to say thank you for being transparent. I appreciate that you're going to do this with recording the minutes of, or the meeting with it, but you don't have to put it in the paper. Like, I have trouble reading the paper because I get out the magnifying glass because it's so tiny for reading the minutes. But if you're putting it on YouTube, it doesn't cost anything. So there's no extra expense there. So that's all I have to say.
Thank you. Good evening.
Hello, Council. My name is Lois Lundeen. I live at 2222 3rd Avenue East. I'm here tonight to represent Bacchus Community Center. I wanted to just share with you that we have a free concert coming up on Tuesday, July 1st, out at the amphitheater. And I want to thank the city for your participation and your support of that concert. We have 2 bands this year. It's going to start at 4 o'clock. Deep Tracks is going to be playing, and Radio Nation at 7:30. It's going to be 70s, 80s, and 90s rock. We have food trucks. We have vendors coming in. There will be activities and a lot of opportunity for community. This concert is sponsored, the result of a grant from the Minnesota State Art Board. So it's free to the public. Everyone can attend. There will be picnics. People can bring picnics. They can just come and have fun, come and go. It's free of charge. Everyone can be there. So it's a really a cool opportunity for community. I wanted to thank you for your support with having law enforcement in and out, and with the different services that the city is going to provide for that concert. So I hope to see you all there, and I hope it's dry this year. And I really hope we have a good response from the community, but thank you all for your help.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hence, that's why I was worried about the 11 o'clock on the 7th, or on the 2nd.
I thought I maybe should clarify that.
Yeah, right. Yeah, yes, you're welcome. And I gave people permission kind of on the radio on Thursday. If they're tired of work at noon, 1 o'clock on Tuesday, what a great place to go. Yeah.
Good evening.
Good evening. Rhonda Benedict's 909 6th Street. So one of the things I'm going to bring up that was on the agenda was the payments and claims. When you're up here and you're spitting out the numbers that you're paying, is it possible that we have spreadsheets to see what, you're spitting out numbers, but we don't really know what they're for. Is it possible? Do we have that?
Yes, it is, and actually, I would like to bring that up. And maybe we have them this evening, maybe we don't. Typically, did we used to put out the full packets? I seem to remember there was a box.
There was one, well, we print one public packet.
Okay.
Unless someone requests.
Unless there's requested. If there's interest in more than one, which there appears to be, we could certainly print more than one.
If we were not advances.
So,
Because at the end, you're like, does anybody have any questions or concerns, or what? How do we have questions when we don't know what it is for, right?
you're bringing up a point that I can't answer, and so
Right.
therefore I think it's abundantly obvious that the agenda that's put online and whatnot isn't the full packet. I think your point is that if you receive this, it doesn't have the information.
Like the payments and stuff that you're reading out, like, that you're paying tonight. So at the end, when you get done, you're like, is there any questions or whatever? Well, how can I have questions when I don't know what it's for, right? I'm just asking if there's a way to get, if we can have printouts of that.
So can I just
That's all.
add, Mayor?
Please.
That if you would like to get an email of the packet, we do send that out on Friday, so that is another option.
Oh, okay, so
If you
before you
just
come to the
contact-
meeting, is that what you're saying?
You could have it before the meeting. If you
okay.
want a printed copy, you would need to contact City Hall, so we make enough copies.
Okay, I just thought it'd be easier. Okay. And second, so for the last few years, I've noticed that semis come down our main streets quite often uptown. I always thought there was a rule, or maybe it's a law, I don't know, that they didn't drive down our main streets. So if we're trying to save money and trying to save our streets from repair sooner than they need to be, how come they're allowed to drive down our main streets now? They never used to be.
That's a legitimate question and concern. Folks do reach out about that.
It's happening more and more and more, and a lot of them are quite belligerent about it, let's just say. So when they're turning the corner, and if you're already at one of the stop signs or something and you're going to turn, but they want to turn your way, they will not move. They make you back up, right? So there's not even enough room for them to turn, but it's more and more and more. You see more semis uptown now. So I'm just wondering, if we're trying to save money and trying to save our streets, why are they allowed to drive
I think,
uptown? They used to have to go all the way around.
and I don't know if this is for sure, I'm just taking a stab in the dark when I've talked to people. I think it might have to, that it is a state highway, trunk highway, so they're allowed to drive on it.
But isn't that what the truck route was built for? So
In
they could go
theory,
around?
yes, yeah, in theory, yes.
Are you specifically referring to the downtown business district?
Area.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Okay, that's a state
Because the
highway.
truck route was built for them to go around. So they didn't drive down the main streets, right, uptown to wreck the roads. So that's why the truck route, to route around, right, off of Highway 53 to go around.
Is there a pathway to change that? And I doubt that there'd be anything more than discussion, but this is something that at least I routinely have heard about over the years. And so
Yeah.
if I owned a business on Main Street or someone else did, I think that it's warrants further investigation.
Because in front of Smoky Bear, that street obviously is really in bad shape because there's been quite a few semis coming down.
Is that something, Jason, that is in?
I can find out.
Thank you.
That's
So-
all I have, actually.
Thank you. So just to recap, the packets can be gotten by getting on the email list from administration.
Okay.
And I would just ask that if we print a couple, 3 more prior to the meetings. I know we've printed at times too many or too few, so I don't think we have to go.
I don't know why we wouldn't print 10 and use some paper.
So
One-sided, I'd prefer.
Yeah, don't you support voice?
Yeah.
So we will have some more available, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Reminders, the city offices will be closed in observance of the Juneteenth holiday on Thursday, June 19th, 2025. There's a special city council meeting next Monday, June 23rd, 2025, which is an update and discussion of the city audit for 2024. City offices are closed in observance of Independence Day on the 4th of July, and our next regular city council meeting is Monday, July 7th of this year at 5:30 PM. Seeing no further business at this time for the council, we'll adjourn the meeting. Thank you.
All right.